Hello, Division 4. Okay, so as we move to the next level once again, we've done the single digits where you know your times tables. We then went for 2-digit times single digit, and then 3-digit times single digit, and probably you can go to 4 or 5 digits times single digits. So now what we're doing is going for the 2-digit and the 2-digit, in the sense tens by tens is what we want. So for example, if we have a question like 23 times 47. Now you notice I'm using the paper here sideways for myself because sometimes for neatness wise, for columns, it makes it a lot easier to keep yourself straight because it's very important that you don't want your ones and your tens to cross over, especially when you start doing hundreds and thousands and so forth. And so basically you've got two questions again. Your first question, of course, is 23 times 7. And your next question, of course, that 4 is not worth just 4, but it's in the 10, so it's actually 23 times 40, right? And then you could add them together. But in the sense, so what we're going to be going is we're doing different levels. And like I said, a lot of you have done this, and it's just review, but for the sake of online learning, we have to assume we're at this level and we'll keep on building. And like I said, you can never have enough practice. So the first question, of course, is 23 times 7. So 3 times, or just sort of 23 times 7. So 3 times 7, of course, gives you your 21. And you carry it over into the tens. And so 7 times 2 is 14 plus 2 tens, which would give you 16, right? And that'd be your 161 there if you're going to do it this way. So there's two separate questions there. And the next one, of course, is 40 times 23, or what you want to do is you can just say 23 times 4. So what you do, because it's in the tens column, this is where it's vital, you're going to bring it down and your first digit is going to be in the tens column, right? And because it's in tens, you can put a 0 there because you know that tens have a 0. All tens in the tens column, therefore pushes it over. You want it to, you really want to push it over that way, right? And so my new question, of course, is 4 times 3, which is 12. And it's actually similar to this. Now, this is where it gets confusing for some people. So if you want to cross this one off, so you know it's not that one, but your 4 times 3 gives you the 12, and then you've carried the 1. 4 times 2 is 8, plus the 1 is the 9. And of course, you can just add that together. 1 plus 8, and then 10. Okay. Of course, you could have done the same thing of here, 12, 9, and we know that 0 times 0, and then there's your two numbers there, right? So that's basically, this is more in your head that you're breaking up this question into two smaller questions. Okay, so let's just try this again. And this is one of those things that practice, right? So let's just make up another question here. So I'm going to go 35, and I'm going to multiply it by 26. Okay, just making that up. First question, 30, and like for the sense too, if you really wanted to, you could actually draw lines and actually put the 0 in already, right? In which some people do that. There's all these different methods, but we'll just, for the sake, we'll just do it this way here. So 6 times 5 gives you 30. I'm carrying the 3. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going to see if I can get a little bit better view there. Sorry. 6 times 3 is 18, plus the 3 gives you 21. Okay, so now you're done with that. You're totally done with that. And like I said, if that's going to bother you, you can cross that off. So my next question now is 35 times 2. But you know it's in the tens column, so right away put the 0 in there. It'll force you to kick everything over to the left. 2 times 5 gives you 10. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 1 gives you 7. And then, of course, you can just add. Okay, let's try again. So 48 times 17. Love the 7 times tables. So 7, my first question, 7 times 8 gives me 56. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 3 gives you 33. I'm going to the tens, so I know my first digit is going to go right underneath that. So that means I got to put a 0 there. Got to put a 0. 1 times 8, so my new question, of course, if that's going to bug you, 1 times 8 gives you 8. 1 times 4 gives you 4. Go ahead and add 816. Okay, let's do one more before we actually see what's on the homework. And like this kind of thing, some of you have done this, and so it's just a matter of review. Some of you, it's that just once you get the method, and once you can do this, 2-digit by 2-digit, going to 3 and 4 and 5 is basically like the same thing. It's like riding yourself on a smaller bicycle, and as you get older, it's not you don't have to learn to ride a new bike. It's just a new bicycle in the sense, but it's the same mechanics, right? So it might be a little more difficult, but it's the same idea. All right, one more. Let's try our 9. So 93 times 52. Okay, first question. 2 times 3 gives you 6. 2 times 9 gives me 18. See how these times tables, it's lucky we know them so well, right? We're going to the tens, so I add the 10. 5 times 3, 15, carry the 1. 5 times 9, 45, plus 1 is 46. And of course, we're adding. And then 6, 13, 8, and 4. In an ideal situation, obviously in class, we'd be able to really see what you're doing. So do the best you can. And we are going to do this for the next couple of days, so not to worry if you don't get it. However, if you do understand it, this kind of review is really nothing more than to help really reinforce the fundamentals. Okay, so our homework looks like this today. And so you've got your thing, but see, there's no lines. So what you can do, you can draw them if you will. You don't have to. This is totally something that some people do to help keep their columns. All right, so the first question, of course, is 6 times 4, which gives you 24. And then 6 times 4 again, of course, is 24 plus the 2 gives you 26. Now, this forces me, right? Oh, yeah, there is no ones. I'm doing the tens. Put my 0 in. 4 times 4 is 16. Carry the 1. Cross that off. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 1 gives me 17. So I guess I could have added another column there. And I'm just adding it together. 4 plus 0. 6 plus 6, of course, is 12. We've got 10. And then we've got 2. And your answer is 2024. One more, but I'm not going to draw any lines. I'm just going to see if we can do this. I apologize for covering the work here as I go. It's a little difficult to try and see as I go. Okay, so we got 9 times 2 gives me 18. 9 times 7 is 63 plus 1 gives me 64. Okay, so I'm done with the 9 now. Oh, the ones. Oh, but it's in the tens column. Put the 0. You can almost preload the zeros on that second column, right? But it might just get a little messy. So my first question is, or on the second part here, 1 times 2, 1 times 7, adding it together. And there you go. All right. I hope this helps. And like I said, if not, we will reinforce it throughout this week. Okay? Until next time.